Thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Efrem Graham. Ahead today, the president signs the Inflation Reduction Act into law, which includes an expansion of IRS agents. Some say the IRS expansion could mean a shakedown for business owners and the middle class.
Mark my words, and mark the words of the CBO and JCT and many other economists, this is going to impact families earning under $400,000 a year, and it will impact small business owners and sole proprietors.
Congresswoman Liz Cheney loses her bid for a fourth term in Congress.
No House seat, no office in this land is more important than the principles that we are all sworn to protect. And I well understood the potential political consequences of abiding by my duty.
See what else she says in her concession speech coming up. Several states in the West face cuts in the amount of water they can draw from the Colorado River. Now they're forced to make critical decisions for their cities. Republican Senator Tim Scott sits down to talk about his book, America, a Redemption Story, and how his life story displays hope for unity in our country.
The story of redemption is the story of my life, and frankly, I think it's the story of our country. And so the more we focus on what we have in common, the better off we are.
Inspirational singer and songwriter Do Jones talks to us about her life and music and the new project called Clarity. All those stories and more coming up next from the CBN Newsroom.
This is CBN NewsWatch.
I want to begin this half hour with the president signing the Inflation Reduction Act into law, formerly known as the Build Back Better plan. The rebuilt bill passed under a promise that inflation would eventually come down due to a combination of higher taxes, deficit reduction measures, and new revenue streams for green energy. Various independent studies show the reduction to inflation would be minimal and years away. Critics also worry there's a potential shakedown coming for the middle class and business owners, since 87,000 new IRS agents will be hired under this expansion. While the Biden administration maintains the new IRS agents will go after major corporations dodging taxes, the biggest fear is how the middle class might painfully foot the bill. CBN News correspondent Brody Carter has more.
Research and educational institutions like the Heritage Foundation in Washington, D.C. say the middle class won't escape the incoming wave of IRS tax audits.
Mark my words, and mark the words of the CBO and JCT and many other economists, this is going to impact families earning under $400,000 a year, and it will impact small business owners and sole proprietors.
Supporters claim the legislation will reduce inflation by lowering costs for families, combating climate change, reducing the annual deficit, and by raising taxes on big corporations. One tool to get the money is doubling the IRS workforce, with some 87,000 new agents as part of an $80 billion infusion to the agency. Annual audits are expected to greatly increase under this plan.
This is one new IRS agent for roughly every 1,500 households. So think about that. Every neighborhood out there, every big neighborhood, hey, we've got another tax agent that's going to be employed.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen tried to address the concern with a letter directed to IRS officials that neither money nor the new tax agents be used to increase audits performed on the middle class. The National Taxpayers Union still believes the IRS will target small businesses and lower-income families because they often don't have the money to fight back.
That's not where most of the money is, so they go after small businesses and the middle class, and then people get outraged and demand Congress rein them in, and then Congress does that, and we're just starting the cycle all over again. It's unfortunate Congress hasn't learned anything.
Talk to somebody that's been audited, and you find out that can easily cost you $20,000 or $30,000. Hiking taxes and increasing spending and going down further this road to the Green New Deal, this is going to damage our economy. It's going to harm everyday American families.
Brody Carter, CBN News.
Mr. Henchman went on to say the approach here is to double the IRS workforce and see how much money they can collect, adding the collection process will be quite painful. Congresswoman Liz Cheney lost her bid to compete for a fourth term in Congress. She was defeated in the Wyoming Republican primary by a candidate backed by former President Donald Trump. Cheney staked her career on opposing the former president after the January 6th Capitol invasion, voting to impeach him and serving as co-chair of the House Select Committee investigating the riot. Wyoming Republican voters showed their displeasure with the stand, voting against her by a nearly 40-point margin. In her concession speech, Cheney called the defeat the beginning of a new chapter, adding that her fight against President Trump is just beginning.
This primary election is over, but now the real work begins. I will do whatever it takes to ensure Donald Trump is never again anywhere near the Oval Office.
Cheney's future beyond Capitol Hill could include a possible presidential run in 2024. The First Lady continues isolating after testing positive for COVID-19. Dr. Jill Biden is experiencing cold-like symptoms and taking the prescription drug Paxlovid. She plans to isolate herself for at least 5 days at a private residence in South Carolina and does not intend to return to the White House until she receives a negative test result. Arizona, Nevada, and Mexico will face cuts in the amount of water they can draw from the Colorado River as the West continues to endure extreme drought. Now states are forced to make critical decisions on where they can reduce water consumption, including deciding to prioritize growing cities or agricultural areas. The river provides water across 7 states and in Mexico. You can find out more on this story by visiting us at cbnnews.com. I want to turn now overseas to the Middle East. When it comes to the heart of the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, the same question of whose land is it keeps coming up. As Chris Mitchell now reports from Jerusalem, a new documentary goes back in history to answer this pressing question.
For many around the world, including the United Nations, Israel is an occupier on land stolen from Palestinians. They often chant, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free."
Because from the river to the sea means Haifa and Jaffa.
This is part of the strategy to delegitimize Israel. Not only is there a biblical mandate for the state of Israel, the modern state of Israel, but there's a legal foundation as well.
Producer Hugh Kitson's new film, Whose Land, disputes the accusation Israel is illegitimate by stating a legal foundation established more than 100 years ago. At the 1920 San Remo Conference, the victors of World War I divided the Middle East. The result included a British mandate, reestablishing a homeland for the Jews. The preamble states, whereas recognition has thereby been given to the historical connection of the Jewish people with Palestine and to the grounds for reconstituting their national home in that country.
I believe actually what happened at San Remo and in the mandate back in the early 1920s was God putting the title deed of the land of Israel to the Jewish people and enshrining it into national law.
Colonel Richard Kemp, former commander of British forces in Afghanistan, narrates the film.
You frequently get the narrative that Israel has no legitimacy, Israel is occupying territory. And this film shows that that's not the case. It shows that Israel's sovereign territory is legally its sovereign territory. And it is not illegally occupying anything. It is not, there are no illegal settlements. There is just a false narrative against the state of Israel based on falsehoods.
Camp adds many Jews and Christians need to know the true story of Israel's legal right to the land.
And I think this film plays a major role in educating people about the truth and about what the reality is compared to the narrative that is shoved down everyone's throat by the media, by some human rights groups, by the United Nations, by the EU and various other international bodies.
The film cites other experts, including international law professor Avi Bell.
Simply putting out the basic facts about what happened to whom when, why it is the Jewish people have legal and historical and moral rights to their homeland in Israel. It turns out this is of fundamental importance. It should be obvious, but it's not.
Many, including the Biden administration, continue to push a two-state solution as a resolution for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The long history of Palestinians rejecting this proposal leads Kemp to believe it's not what they want. In the meantime, he says, the campaign to delegitimize Israel carries global implications.
Not only does it affect Israel, it kind of discredits Israel's reputation for those people who believe it, but it also fuels and incites Jew hate around the world. And we've seen examples of that in the United Kingdom, in the United States, and other European countries, all fueled by this anti-Israel narrative based on lies.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Coming up, he's the senator who's rolled up his sleeves on the January 6th and was ready to fight. Now he says what helped him live through that day is going to help America survive its future. We're going to sit down with South Carolina's Tim Scott when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to CBN NewsWatch. Some say America is not as divided as the media would have you think. That message is what Republican Senator Tim Scott's new book is all about, America, a Redemption Story, and it is out in bookstores now. Recently, White House correspondent Abigail Robertson sat down with Senator Scott to discuss how his personal story and others like it demonstrate great hope for unity in America.
Senator Tim Scott has a lifelong dream for a more united America than we've ever seen. Despite current political tensions, Scott remains fervently optimistic that dream will come true in his lifetime.
Unity really is the future for this nation.
Scott writes about how we can achieve this dream in his new memoir, America, a Redemption Story.
The story of redemption is the story of my life, and frankly, I think it's the story of our country. And so the more we focus on what we have in common, the better off we are. But also, the more we recognize that typically pain comes before opportunity and that failure precedes success, the more we are to understand the journey that we're likely to experience and that will confront us in the future.
As the first African American elected to both the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate, Scott credits prayer to leading him where he is today.
I find myself living off of the prayer fumes of my grandmother and the prayer seeds of my mom. So I am so thankful that I come from a family that understands the power of prayer.
As an elected official, how have you leaned on your faith while serving in Congress?
One of the most important lessons I learned is a new level, new devil. It's such a truth that you're going to be confronted with situations that are beyond your ability to process everything. But with prayer, you find this calm, consistent presence that the Lord is with you.
In his book, Scott describes how he leaned on that presence during the events of January 6, 2021.
The fear that you could lose your life in the capital of the United States of America was real.
With rioters within earshot, Scott rolled up his sleeves and prepared for a fight.
Finding an escape route and finding ourselves in a big room with all the senators together and listening to the bickering and the yelling. And something just hit me. It's like the Holy Spirit really kind of spoke to my heart that we needed the chaplain to pray for us.
Scott called the room to order and asked Senate Chaplain Barry Black to pray.
As he prayed, you could literally feel the temperature in the room coming down. You could hear the chaos finding order, and you could hear conviction rising in our hearts to go out and finish the day.
Scott tells CBN News he couldn't be more proud of how the nation's leaders came together to finish their work that day. He points to Chaplain Black's weekly bipartisan Senate prayer breakfast and Bible study as a source of life for him on Capitol Hill.
Republicans and Democrats coming together on a Wednesday morning at about 8:30 to share how faith is intersecting with our lives and impacting who we are.
The South Carolina Republican believes America is not as divided as the media portrays.
Consistently, I think media tells a side of the story and never the whole story. And so that's a problem. Media has figured out that you can monetize conflict. That's bad for the American soul.
In his memoir, Scott acknowledges racism is sadly still a reality in America.
You know, one of the things I try to say on a consistent basis is to remind our country we are not a racist country. It doesn't mean that we don't struggle with the issue of race.
Still, he sees a path toward meaningful change.
The first step towards meaningful change is to recognize the progress we have made. the last 50 years, if you look at the state of South Carolina, where I'm from, the evolution of the Southern heart is palpable.
Scott points to his winning a congressional seat where the Civil War started, defeating the son of Strom Thurmond, who held the office 48 years and opposed both the 1957 and 1964 Civil Rights Act.
Literally, to see the evolution of the Southern heart is to understand that I'm here today because they, all of the constituents in the 1st Congressional District, gave me a chance and judged me by the content of my character and not by the color of my skin. If we would tell the story of progress in America, I think we would be hopeful.
Now, I know you're not going to make any announcement about 2024, but I will ask you this. Is there anything that might lead you to run in 2024?
It's a great question. I would say that it would require the Lord to speak to me in a obvious way for me to make that decision. The thing I've learned in life is the best way to get your next job is to do the best you can in your current job.
For now, Senator Scott remains focused on his 2022 re-election campaign. When asked how he remains hopeful for our country, Scott replied he believes Ephesians 3:20, that God is able to do exceedingly more than we could ever ask or imagine, according to his power at work within us. Reporting from Washington, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
And we turn now to an angelic voice and a soulful sound. Her name is Dominique Jones, but the inspirational singer and songwriter is known to most as simply Doe. And she recently garnered 4 Dove Award nominations, including Artist of the Year. We caught up with her in Nashville to learn more about her music story and her latest project, Clarity. Let's talk about Clarity, your solo project. How long was it to give birth to this?
There's some songs on there that are like eight years old.
Oh, you're forever in my destiny, woven into it like a tapestry.
Ryder's the oldest child on the album.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, so I picked out of my little arsenal, and then they put me in writing sessions with people, and there was this breaking point for me where I feel like I struck water because I kept digging, and that's where I Try was born. That's my baby. I love that song, and then every song after that, it was just like I found another part of myself that was more honest than I ever thought I could be.
But surely I tried.
Let's go through just a couple of the tracks. I'd like to get your reaction.
When I pray, I know I can get through when I pray.
When I pray.
When I pray. I was praying with a dear friend in New York who was battling depression and anxiety and just other things. And the words just kind of, my brother put on a piano sample, and the words just came. That song was very easy to write because I feel like it was being written for us. We just had to be in position to catch those lyrics and be, present in the moment.
You mentioned Brighter's one of the oldest, so
yeah.
Tell me about that.
I ain't blowing smoke. No, this ain't hot air. It's how I choose to love you. The light shines brighter when it shines for two.
Everybody has these internal processors and how they understand and express in life. And in some ways, that's what your light looks like. So for me, music is that. And so that's where that line comes in, I like to use my brain for you and use to write songs for you. And you're getting all the best of me because I'm giving all the best of me. And I feel like this is the best of me. So people hear that and they're like, oh, this sounds like a love song. The first template that the videographer put together was to a couple just having fun and being in love. And I was like, whoa. That's actually not what this song is. I wouldn't mind it. But I was like, yeah, it's actually about how there's an enhancement that I experience when I shine for Jesus.
Music seems to have always been a part of your life. Mm-hmm. Was there ever a thought of doing anything else?
Oh, there's always a thought of it. I don't know. I could teach high school. I could teach like the arts class, like the musical arts class. Because I just like making kids do things they never thought they could do and showing them their potential. Like, that's fun for me. But yeah, there's lots to do. I'm a person that could do anything except be at a desk staring at the wall for hours. Some people can do that. I can't.
Sometimes you're in the desert. Sometimes you feel the pain.
I'd like to go over just some of the people you've worked with. Maverick City.
Maverick City. I don't know. I love working with them. But I was really excited to work on Breathe, and we didn't realize that it was perfect for the timing and where we were in the world with the I Can't Breathe. Like, it was like, God knows what he's doing. We thought we was writing a song telling people don't stop praying. But it all coincided.
Dose Clarity is available right now wherever you get your music. You can also find her on projects with Jonathan McReynolds, Travis Green, Maverick City Music, Food Church, and many more. You can also catch it all new Studio 5 this evening at 8:30 Eastern on the CBN News Channel. You can also download the CBN News app and watch it on demand. Stay with us. We're right back with your Wednesday Word. Time for your Wednesday Word, and today's word is door. There are actually three types: manual doors, revolving doors, and automatic doors. The first requires work, the second requires timing, the third requires you simply approach, and it opens for you. May this be a season of open doors. May God give you the strength to open manual doors, wisdom to know when to enter and exit revolving doors, and courage to walk through those doors open for you automatically. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can always find more of our programs on the CBN News Channel at any time, as well as online at cbnnews.com. Let us know what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can email us, newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We would love to hear from you. Make it a wonderful Wednesday and join us right back here, same time tomorrow. Goodbye and God bless.